This is an interesting street fight here. One kid with legs, the other one no fucking legs. Let's go. What is happening here? Oh my goodness! He is ripping off his fucking legs, and he's gonna try and fuck him up, Peter, with no legs. Let's see how the fight continues. Oh boy, they're back at it. He's crawling towards his opponent, getting the distance on the right side. You know, Peter, you gotta love this. He's big left hook misses, excuse me, big right hook misses. This kid has got speed. And what I like, Peter, is see how low he's staying to the ground. And look at, he's going, come on, motherfucker. You wanna fuck with me? I don't even have fucking legs, and I will fuck you up. Here they go at it again. Guy with no legs gets close, grabs him. He fucking grabs him, and he beats the fuck out of him. This kid's the man.
Come on, girl. Yeah, it's me, Jackie Murphy. Let's fill the bathtub full of sweat. All right. Baby, who wants to love me sexy? Love me sexy. Baby, are you ready to lick me sexy? Lick me sexy. Take off your shoes and suck me sexy. Sexy. I wanna do a little thing with you. I wanna do a little thing with you. When I say love me, you say sexy. Love me, sexy, sexy. Back it on up and show and prove that loving me sexy is a thing to do. Your body says love me, your mind says sexy. Love me sexy. Baby, who wants to love me sexy? Sexy. Lick me sexy. Take off your shoes and suck me sexy. Suck me sexy. Baby, we're naked and we're home for sexy. That's right, girl. Let me whisper in your ear. Baby, wake up. We're naked and we're home for sexy. Who wants to love me sexy? Is it you? Is it you? Are you ready to lick me sexy? Is it you? Or is it you? Take off your shoes and suck me sexy. Is it you?
For the anything and everything and shit podcast, Justin and Aaron.
What's up, everybody?
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you once again for joining us on the Anything and Everything and Shit podcast. Right on. Thank you, man. What's up, brother, man? How are you today?
It's another day in the hood.
Another day,
we
man.
had the 4th of July come up, the 250th anniversary of our great nation, and we had a power outage.
Right.
So didn't get to do our podcast on time.
Man,
so we're here on a Monday morning while you're all at work. We're getting to record. Yeah. Thank you guys, everybody that's commented on our video, liked, shared, subscribed, all that stuff. We're almost to 100 subscribers, so
almost,
that's cool.
Man, we're right there. I think we're at like 97 or something like that. I think
we're getting there, man.
Yeah, so much appreciated. Thank you so much for even passing the word on and sharing us, and we definitely do appreciate it.
That's right. You know, there were 2 terrible earthquakes in Venezuela that killed over 3,000 people. And there's actually more than 50,000 people missing right now. But some of the crazy reports that came out about crazy like lights shining down from the sky, like maybe alien stuff, scanning buildings and scanning the ground.
Tripped out.
Yeah, right before the earthquake happened. So we'll have some stuff about that. We also have some stuff about, how come you don't dream about your phone? The average American spends,
4 to 5 hours a day
on their phone. It's almost 24 hours during a regular week, but yet we don't dream about it. We dream about, riding crazy animals or like flying through the sky with no airplane.
Some cool shit.
Yeah. So that's weird. And then we got some stuff about all the flock cameras. They're just getting more and more every day. There's somewhere, there's new technology. They're not getting lessons. There's more technology and new things that are coming around to be able to listen to you and all kinds of stuff. We also have a video where they talk about what is the plan? Like, what is the plan here? The world is so crazy right now that it's like, who knows what's going to happen? You got AI, you got this, you got that. Everybody's like, well, by 2030, by 2027, by 2028. It's like, so what is the plan and who's actually pulling all the strings?
Look, I need to talk about something very serious that's been circulating on social media. And it's one of those things where you look at it and think, is this for real? Because if it is, it changes everything we understand about the world. I'm talking about the earthquakes in Venezuela. Two massive earthquakes, one measuring 7.2 and the other 7.5, less than a minute apart. As of the time I'm recording this video, more than 1,400 people have died and over 3,000 have been injured. It's the worst seismic disaster in Venezuela in over 100 years. And then a video appears. A video that shows what seemed to be laser beams sweeping across the ground moments before the earthquake happened. And people are saying that this wasn't natural, that it was a weapon, that someone caused this earthquake on purpose. Could it be a secret weapon? Many are talking about the HARP project. Let's talk about this because I think it's worth analyzing calmly. First, what really happened? Scientists classified this event as a double earthquake. It's a phenomenon that happens when two similarly sized ruptures occur almost simultaneously in connected geological faults. The first tremor happened more than 20 kilometers deep. The second only 10 kilometers. And this proximity to the surface is what caused so much destruction. In the following days, more than 300 aftershocks were recorded, including a new tremor of magnitude 4.8, which frightened everyone again. That's the technical explanation. That's what geologists and seismologists are saying. But on social media, the conversation is different.
On the 3rd of May of this year, the United States Embassy conducted a comprehensive drill with all its diplomatic staff. This involved the landing of helicopters and the arrival of ambulances and firefighters. The reason was to evacuate all diplomatic personnel in the event of a natural disaster. It was truly something remarkable that had never happened before anywhere in the country. Never before, not even with the United States Embassy, nor indeed with any other embassy. But that was carried out a month ago. A month later, 2 earthquakes occurred, and what we are seeing in the country today. Perhaps this kind of coincidence raises more questions than answers. I'll read your thoughts in the comments.
People are pointing to HAARP, to CERN, to BlackRock, to the cover of The Economist magazine. And they're saying that all of this is part of a plan, that the earthquakes were manufactured, that there are weapons capable of manipulating the weather and causing natural disasters on command. Let me explain what HAARP is, for those who don't know, of course. It's an acronym in English that stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. I think I pronounced it correctly. It's a facility in the United States that emits radio waves into the ionosphere. And yes, it's connected to the Pentagon. That's a fact. And over the years, many people have come to believe that HAARP can do extraordinary things. It can change the weather, melt polar ice, control the ozone layer, and of course trigger artificial earthquakes. The theory that's circulating now connects everything. It says that HAARP heats up the atmosphere, CERN triggers some kind of resonance, and earthquakes happen as a result. They say Venezuela was chosen on purpose, that it's located on top of a geological fault, so it would be easy to disguise it as a natural event. That the timing was calculated right before CERN entered a maintenance phase, and that the goal would be to drive Venezuelans off their land so that large corporations can take over. Some people are even pointing to the cover of The Economist magazine from 2026, saying it shows symbols of HAARP, chaos, and the system collapsing, and that this isn't journalism. It's a warning, a subliminal message, a public confession for those who might read between the lines. Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not the kind of person who automatically dismisses everything. I believe that governments hide technologies. I believe there are things being developed in military laboratories that we can't even imagine. This isn't a conspiracy theory, this is history. How many times have we found out decades later that secret programs existed, that experiments were carried out without the public's knowledge? So when someone tells me there's a weapon capable of causing earthquakes, I don't laugh. I stop and think. But thinking doesn't mean accepting without questioning. And here's the problem with this specific theory. Do you have any idea how much energy was released in this earthquake? In just a few seconds, the same amount of energy was released as a city like Rome would consume in 100 days. 100 days worth of energy consumption for a huge city. A lot of energy in just a few seconds. Now show me a human-made device capable of generating that. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying that no one has presented concrete evidence that something like this exists. HAARP emits radio waves into the ionosphere. The ionosphere is more than 60 kilometers above the surface. The earthquake in Venezuela happened between 10 and 20 kilometers below the surface. They are completely different physical worlds. As far as science can explain, there is no mechanism by which an antenna in Alaska could transfer energy to a geological fault in Venezuela and cause it to rupture, generating a major earthquake. And what about the video of the lasers? The one that's circulating as definitive proof that the earthquakes in Venezuela were intentional. I have a very serious concern about this because nowadays, with the artificial intelligence tools that exist, you can create extremely realistic, convincing videos that are hard to distinguish from real footage. I'm not saying that this specific video is fake, I'm saying that it could be. And after these tools have advanced so much, it's become very difficult to trust videos that appear on social media without verification. But there are other videos circulating that seem more real. Videos showing strange lights in the sky moments before the earthquake. And you know what's interesting? There's a scientific explanation for this. It's called earthquake lights. You've never heard of it? Well, neither had I. I only found out about this when I was creating the script to make this video for you. It's a phenomenon that's already been documented. It has already been observed in earthquakes in Mexico, Chile, Japan, and several other places. It happens when rocks are under extreme tectonic stress and release electrical charges. These charges rise into the atmosphere and create these lights. It's real, it's natural, and you don't need any secret weapon for this to happen. So, in my opinion, what happened in Venezuela was tectonic. It was the friction between the Caribbean plate and the South American plate. It was energy accumulated over years being released in just a few seconds. It was the Earth doing what the Earth has done for millions of years. In my humble opinion, it wasn't HAARP, it wasn't CERN, it wasn't a global conspiracy. But I understand why people want to believe that. Because when something terrible happens, we want an explanation. We want someone to blame. It's easier to accept that there's a villain than to accept that we live on an unstable planet where disasters happen for no reason and without warning, where thousands of people can die just because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nature has no intention, no plan, and that's frightening. A villain, no matter how powerful, can be fought. Nature cannot. And there's another point I want to make. When we get distracted by theories about secret weapons, we stop focusing on what really matters. Earthquake-resistant construction, risk maps, early warning systems, disaster response planning. These are the things that save lives. These are the things we should be demanding from governments, especially at a time like this. Venezuela had a devastating earthquake, not because of HAARP, but because it sits on an active seismic zone, and like many countries, did not have the necessary infrastructure to minimize the damage. Now, I could be wrong. I know that when someone points out inconvenient truths, they're often called a conspiracy theorist precisely to suppress the truth. I know that happens, I'm not naive. But I also know that not every conspiracy theory is true. Some are. In fact, many are. And we need to have discernment to tell one from the other. What I ask is that you think carefully, that you question the sources, that you don't accept either the official version or the alternative version without analyzing the evidence. Because the truth, when it exists, withstands scrutiny. It doesn't need dubious videos or magazine covers interpreted creatively. It stands on its own. And you, what do you think?
Dude,
that is freaking insane, man. I mean, I know when we were watching it, and I'm just like, what the frick is that? And it definitely seems like, some alien scanning.
I know. It looked like something out of like the Matrix or the Terminator or something.
I would have flipped the frick out. I mean, if I was in Venezuela and that happened and then all of a sudden earthquakes, dude, I would, and
somebody had told me, my wife had actually told me that somebody had told her that they woke up in the middle of the night and saw, started scrolling through social media and they saw something where it was scanning houses, like scanning the windows and the doorways and stuff. And she was like, "Did you hear anything?" And I said, "No, but I want to know."
Right.
So I started searching for it and there wasn't a lot. That's why we only showed the 2 videos, but I kind of liked the fact that it was like just showing you one, and obviously what they speak in Venezuela, so I didn't know what they were saying, and then showing you one where the guy actually explains, we completely understand why somebody would think this was man-made or even alien or something like that, but I do know for a fact from, when I was into geology and all that stuff, that is a natural occurrence that is very rare. However, it does happen. It was kind of like I was telling Eric, there's that picture that people get of the side of the cliff where the water's coming through it and the sun just hits it right where it looks like flames are coming down. Yeah, man. And it's on fire. It happens, but you have to be there at the perfect time, at the right time. And some people happen to be out listening to this stuff, because you could hear it rippling through the clouds and stuff.
And that's still true. Could you imagine, if you just watch, War of the Worlds and stuff like that? I mean, it's like some alien movie and just
and then you go outside and see that?
Dude, I'm like, man, I don't know what the hell I'd be like.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd stand out there and record it after watching
or go back inside and maybe start praying.
Holy crap, we summoned the aliens.
Right? It's done now. We're done. We're good. It's over.
Pooch.
But man, how tripped out. I mean, it's cool that, to know that it's kind of a natural occurrence, and even, and that just once again shows you the powers of
seriously.
The mysteries of Mother Nature,
For real.
I mean, we still
crazy stuff that happens in this world.
Yeah, man, and cool stuff. I mean,
up next we have a crazy video from Chase Hughes, actually, about why don't we dream about our cell phones.
Most of you that are tuning in right now, you're watching me on a device that I'm about to talk about. And it's these little things right here that we all carry around all day long. It's tiny, it's thin. You're holding it in your hand, it's propped up on something on your desk. It's probably 18 inches from your face. And I want you to notice something before we start. You didn't decide to hold it that way. You don't remember picking it up. It's just there. Your brain's going to say, "Oh yeah, I already knew that." But I want you to hear this with the full weight of what it truly means. Your attention is worth more per ounce than gold. And I mean that literally. There are companies out there worth more than the GDP of most countries. And their entire balance sheet is built on one big ass asset. It's the thing that you're pointing at your screen right now. And it's not your eyes, it's your attention. And most of us, statistically, we're giving away 96 times a day this to a device that was engineered to take it away from you. That's once every 10 waking minutes. So like total touches or scrolls or whatever for your phone is 2,600 per day for the average person. And people who use their phones heavily are over 6,000. When we're talking about scrolling on short form content, you scroll about the height of the Statue of Liberty every day with your thumb. That's the physical labor you're performing for companies for free. And average screen time in the US is now between 4 and 5 hours. 4 hours a day is 28 hours a week. That's more than a full day of your life every week gone into a piece of glass and in a reality that's not even your real life. If you run that across an entire year, you're at 60 days. So this is 2 months of your waking life annually. If you take a 30-year-old, if you run that forward to age 80 at this current numbers, the person will use their phone somewhere between 8 and 10 years of conscious existence, just while they're awake. So a decade. That's the price. And nobody really remembers agreeing to pay the price. You didn't decide to do this. A notification on your phone is a script interruption. And that's all it is. You're cooking, you're in the kitchen doing something, you're working, talking to your kid, and the buzz on your phone, the vibration, the noise cuts in half all the script that was running. And we think my focus drifted towards a phone. Your focus was seized. That's a seized level of focus there. It's the same mechanism that kept your ancestor alive when the stick snaps behind the bush. The phone is cracking a stick about 80 times a day on purpose. Look at what's built into the interface. Blue check marks, all the follower counts, the verified algorithm. The algorithm decides whose face appears in front of you, whose ideas and whose opinions. And if you're honest with yourself, and some of you are, what's happening is your brain is saying, who do I watch? Who do I need to imitate? Who do I defer to? And a recommendation algorithm owns that selection process. And I'm willing to go on a limb here and say you didn't choose the voices that have authority in your life. They were most likely served to you. And it's hard to admit. There's an ego hit to admit something like that. So we have group chats and goal streaks and a little "your friend is typing right now" bubble that comes up on social media. They voice the new belief, and either the tribe welcomes them or they feel welcomed, or they don't. They get rejected. That's the like button. That's the mechanism behind all of this. Your feed's not sorted by truth. And then you're like, oh yeah, I already knew that. You're like, oh yeah, my feed's sorted by evidence or by interest, right? It's not sorted by interest at all. It's sorted by arousal. It cares that you feel something. You have 10,000 engineers running millions of experiments. They keep what captures attention. They kill everything that doesn't. And evolution did the rest. And evolution reverse engineered all this stuff for the algorithm. I want to walk you through one pickup of your phone really quick, and I want you to do this with me in your mind. Step by step, and we'll kind of do this in slow motion. Because once you see the pipeline, I think you're going to feel it happening, and I want to get you to a place where you feel the pipeline happening. So step one, the phone buzzes. A script interruption. Focus is seized, not captured. It's seized. You haven't even looked yet, and your focus is seized. And then we get to step two. This is the part the dopamine research actually shows, and almost everybody gets it backwards. Even YouTube neuroscientists get this backwards. Dopamine doesn't fire when you get a reward. It fires in anticipation of the reward. So the hit happens in this little space, this little gap between the buzz, the vibrating phone, and the looking at the phone. The not knowing is the drug. It could be your kid's school calling you. It could be someone liking your post. It could be some telemarketer, right? Your brain floods in that uncertainty window. And then we get to step 3 here. And the scientists have a word for step 3. This is called variable ratio reinforcement. This psychologist, B.J. Skinner, he figured this out with pigeons probably 70-something years ago. If you reward every peck, the animal works steadily, nonstop. If you reward randomly, the animal starts pecking frantically, and they never ever stop pecking because the rewards are random. So even after the rewards are finished and they stop giving out the rewards, the behavior keeps going. It's the most addictive reinforcement schedule that's ever been documented in psychology. Sometimes notification matters a lot. Usually it doesn't. If you look at your phone, you'll watch all of this kind of line up. You pull down to refresh. You drag the screen down and wait to see what comes up as it's waiting. The gesture is exactly like what? What do we see the same gesture with? Is pull down and wait. It's a slot machine. It's mechanically and it's psychologically identical. They put a slot machine in your pocket and you pull the lever 96 times a day for free. The guy who invented infinite scrolling on social media apologized for it publicly. So why does the endless scrolling work? And if it's not you, if you're telling everybody in the chat here that you're above everything and better than all this, maybe it's someone you know. But why does endless scrolling work? Because it takes out the stopping cue. A page that ends, if I only show you 15 things at a time, like you get to an ending point, it gives your brain a completion point. It closes a loop and it gives you a little brief moment in time to contemplate what's happening. Infinite scrolling means that loop never closes, so it's more like a casino. And you know already what an open loop does to a human brain. There's no bottom. The red circle that you see all the time, the little notification icons on your phone, on social media, of all the colors they could have picked for that notification dot, they picked the one that your visual system is ancestrally wired to. And it's wired to treat it as like blood, fire, danger. A gray dot won't get opened. And they know this because they actually tested it and published the results. Someone's typing back to you in RCS, I think it's called for Android, or iMessage. It's the 3 dots thing that's going up, like those watching those little 3 dots move. This is an open loop that you can't close yourself. You'll sit and stare at those little animated dots like your life depends on it. Because 500,000 years ago, some unresolved social signal did mean that your life depended on the answer. Some platforms have been reported to do what's called like batching. That's a word that exists, batching up all of your likes. So all your likes exist somewhere. They're sitting on some server farm somewhere. But the system holds them and releases them in bursts. And they're timed for when you're most likely to drift away. The welcome signal that we get from our own people, right? And they're metering it on this little mouse rat maze reinforcement schedule. It's like a dog trainer with a little one of those little fanny packs full of treats. We don't recognize manipulation in places that we go to rest. So you check those 4 things. Focus. Where does this person's attention live? Who controls what they look at hour by hour throughout the day? And then we have authority. Who do they treat as the voices worth listening to? And then who selected those voices? Who picked them? And then tribe. Where does that person's sense of belonging come from? Where do they go to feel accepted? And then in the emotion side of things, what's the big source of their dopamine? When they feel flat, when their dopamine feels super flat, where do they almost instinctively reach for? When one entity owns all 4 of those things, that's a cult. That's the actual mechanism of control, and everything else is just not a cult. But your phone qualifies for them on all 4 channels. And I'm not saying this in it kind of qualifies. It holds the monopoly. And I want to be really accurate. They're really precise about why this is worse than any cult I've ever seen in my life. If you think of a cult leader, the David Koreshes or whoever you want to think of, works with a few hundred people, and what do they have? What do every cult leader has in droves? Intuition and charisma. And if you look at your phone, this thing runs a personalized model of you. Resting time, what makes you hesitate. They time how long it takes you to touch the screen again. They know thumb hesitation. They know what you watch twice, what time of night that your resistance starts dropping, and it starts updating the model every time you touch something. This thing measures and knows all of that stuff. The biggest difference between you and a cult member is that the cult member had to be recruited. And when I say you, I mean we. Like we paid for and purchased the recruiter ourselves, maybe $1,000 for it. We sleep with it 8 inches from our skull, and we check it before we even say good morning to a human in bed with us. Research has been cataloging dream content for decades. These are tens of thousands of dream reports, and here's what they found. The phone is almost completely absent from your dreams. Let me know if that hit you in the stomach, because it did me. You spend a third of your waking life looking at a phone, and it barely registers in dream content at all. You dream about people in your life you haven't seen for 20 years. You dream about that house that you lived in as a kid. You dream about falling and maybe riding on some rhinoceros or something like that. Being chased by something. Showing up to school in your underwear. You don't dream about scrolling. And think about what dreams are for really quick. Just think about what are dreams for? Your brain basically replays and consolidates what matters. The experiences that are worth encoding, the threats that the brain might want to rehearse and prepare for, the people that are worth keeping in your life. 4 hours a day, every day, we're on phones. And when the lights go out, your own brain looks at that time and files those 4 hours under nothing happened at all. The biggest influence operation in human history has nothing to do with any government at all. It's in your pocket. It knows you probably better than your spouse, your kids, your therapist. It never sleeps, and it gets smarter every time you pick it up and you touch it. And at night, your own brain testifies that none of it was real. This is the fourth rule about scripts, that we talked about scripts a lot. And you know it. If a script is openly discussed, its power gets lessened. I'm not saying you need to go throw this thing in the trash. I have one. I don't have social media on here, but I had this. I might also pick it up more than I should. I'm not perfect. I don't have all this shit figured out. I'm not a guru. Maybe get those numbers, and maybe you go on a social media diet. Just a diet. And watch how your life kind of comes back to reality.
Authorities are reporting a citywide manhunt underway.
The world is breathing, a fragile sound. No echoes here, on sacred ground. A quiet pose, a steady beat, the truth we feel in simple heat. Barefoot steps on hallowed ground. A sacred rhythm we have found.
The world just breathes and I can feel it. A perfect promise can't conceal it. Just shadows leaning on the light. Another beautiful quiet night.
past is gone, but we remain, washing over all the pain. A simple truth, a feeling pure, a soft connection to endure.
And I can feel it, a perfect promise, can't conceal it. Just shadows leaning on the light. Another beautiful quiet night.
I'm on my phone too much, and I still think that I am good about ignoring my phone.
Right.
You know, I really do, because I'll hear it buzz, and I'm like, okay, I heard it, but I'm in the middle of something. And especially, you know, as a graphic designer and stuff, I do that digital marketing stuff for my work. So it's like there's certain things, the people out there that do that kind of work, they understand what I'm saying. You can't just stop it and then go back. Like, if say you're drawing something and you're using the pen tool and you're in the middle of it, you're like, oh, you know, I gotta continue. I can't just stop with this point. I have to continue and create a whole, it all has to end. And so, you know, I'll ignore stuff to a degree, but then at the same time, like whenever I'm just sitting there watching a soccer game or something, I'm like,
yeah. Oh, I wonder what's going on in the world. Absolutely.
It's still watching the soccer game. You do it too, because you'll tell me all the time. You're like, yeah, I was watching, but I was looking at my phone.
Yeah, I was, in the world of wherever I was, you know. Oh, that's cool. Look at that.
Right. Well, and the fact that, like you said, that our attention is worth more than its weight in gold.
It you know, and it's so crazy because, like, I've noticed, like, watching the World Cup, you know, just because you mentioned soccer and stuff like that, just watching the World Cup, you see out in the stands on, like, how many people actually have these phones. I mean, and these are people from all over the world. I mean, just like, and you're like, I know it might sound fucked up, but I'd be like, damn, I didn't really think they might have phones there, but that's a cooler phone. And I'm sorry,
everybody has phones.
Everybody, I know.
That's why they made them cheap.
Like, holy shit!
Everybody has to be trackable.
Man. Yeah, everybody's now being traced. So they accomplished that one.
Everybody's even got a flip phone. You got something.
That's okay.
I've seen people on the street that have a phone.
Yeah,
asking for money.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, how do they pay that? But
that's what I'm saying. It's insane that, you know, we depend on our cell phones so much. You know, I remember when I was probably, I'd say 16 or 17, I was at a Winchell's Donuts, and there was this black guy sitting there, and he was always smoking cigarettes, and he had like a cup of coffee on the table and a 40-ounce of beer sitting next to him on the floor. Yeah, he was cool, you know, we always talked to him, whatever, and he was like, yeah, that pager stuff, that's old, you know, you don't need all that. School. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, do you need to get into cell phones, man? And I was like, yeah, right. Like, you mean the big brick things that people in the movies have, dude? Like, okay, yeah, that's going to really catch on. Those things are probably really expensive. And they were when he said that, but he was ahead of the game, man. He knew where it was going. He's like, everybody will have a cell phone.
Right.
Nobody cares about a pager except doctors.
Yeah, they don't, you know, anymore. They even still have pagers?
Doctors do.
Well, yeah, I guess because they're in the hospital or whatnot, you know, got to get paid, That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know if they still had them or not.
I've seen a lot of doctors have them still. But, you know, or drug dealers, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, well, didn't those people over in Lebanon get blown up by
those people
pagers?
that got blown up had pagers.
Okay. All right.
Apparently, they're still being used.
All right, then. Got me there.
Right?
Holy shit.
It's insane, man. Like, you know, I know some people that are on their phone constantly, you know, and my wife complains about a person at her work that's on the phone constantly. I actually witnessed the person on their phone, like, as soon as they check somebody out, they're like,
dude, it's
the whole time. And it's like, you think about if you spent 8 hours a day at work, you know, dodging people so you can look at your phone. You know, there's a guy that used to work with us that would sit back behind these cabinets he was working on and watch
go back
porn.
there, just
Seriously, dude. He would argue with his wife and watch porn all day long.
That's awesome, man.
It's insane, man.
That's just
but,
weird.
you know, people are hooked on it. They said it'd be your everything, and it is. It's your camera. It's your music device. It's your
it's your photos,
calendar.
your freaking everything. Your therapist is like how they're saying. It's just like, holy moly.
Some people's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Some people's boyfriend.
Yeah. You know, whatever
Some
it may
people's
be.
it friend.
It.
It's nuts, man. But you know what else is even more crazy than that is the amount of flock cameras that are watching everything that you do every time you step out of your house.
In Boulder, Colorado, inside a small coffee shop,
The brighter areas are where the really high density of flock cameras are.
Will Freeman runs the largest police camera tracking system in the nation.
If you click on any of these police departments, it'll show you who they're sharing with. So the lines going outward are the agencies that can access their data directly.
It's called D-Flock. The app shows where the cameras are and which way they're pointed. How many cameras have you mapped?
88,970 cameras at the moment.
Why did you want to do this?
The main reason is to show people how invasive this is.
Flock license plate readers take a time-stamped photo of every vehicle that passes every camera. Police can search your historical travel information for 30 days. This creates a searchable database of everyone, not just the suspects of crime. Security researcher Ben Jordan.
And it's like if you were to build a graph of that sheet, you know, and plot it to a map, now it's as if you've had a GPS on your car for an entire month.
By your own publications, 700,000 crimes a year are solved with Flock? Flock Safety Chief Communications Officer Josh Thomas.
Reported crimes in America, yeah. So there's a lot more that probably are being helped that aren't being reported. But yes, we have about 700,000 crimes that we are aware of that are being solved in part with evidence that's derived from a Flock safety device.
In order for that historical data to be of investigative value, you have to track every car for 30 days.
Again, I would challenge you on the word track. Tracking the whole of your movements is very different than knowing that you passed by one specific camera, 24 specific cameras. Those are different things.
And then the examples of tracking that vehicle from location to location to location.
But Flock's own webinars talk about its license plate reader's ability to track vehicles and people.
And we were able to track him all the way over to another state in Kentucky.
And you're able to track your suspect's movements.
You're saying Flock does not track people, correct?
Track people, that's right. And the whole their movements like you asked. We're not tracking people.
But what do the Condor cameras do? They literally are designed to track a person, aren't they?
Not to track a person, no.
This is a Flock camera known as a Condor. Unlike the Falcon license plate reader camera, you'll notice this does track the movements of people. Whether or not it was designed to specifically track a person, you can see right now, in real time, no matter which way I move, the camera moves with me. And this video is sent right back to the police department.
To alert you when it sees human movement, and it will actually acquire and track that person as they walk or people.
When I walked down the path and I moved, the camera followed me.
There's an object detection feature that you can set up. It's called Guardian mode that allows the camera to just know if there's movement from a person in the screen. It is not tracking where you're going to go, where you're going to leave, or you're going to start and stop.
These started popping up weeks after hearing Flock say these only record license plates. They don't take pictures of people.
That security researcher, Ben Jordan, found the same Condor camera streaming openly online. No password required.
And they quite literally use AI to zoom in and follow you around whether you're a person of interest or not.
At one point, I think we had found over 70 cameras.
I watched a man leave his house in the morning in New York. I watched a woman jogging alone on a forest trail in Georgia.
And I was able to read the CEO's statement about having never been hacked in front of a camera and then access that footage later.
If a person were able to gain physical access to the device leased to the city, which is illegal, they still would not be able to gain access to the footage, as the data is only stored for a very limited time duration on the device following its transmission to the cloud.
This wasn't the dark web. This was openly streaming to anyone who could go on a specific search engine and scan open ports. Was that an accident?
Yes. Verizon sent us the wrong SIM cards that had a public IP address. We have a lot of sensors in the world that don't have that. Roughly 60, 70 devices had a public-facing IP address. Second we learned about it, we fixed it.
What if a police officer uses Flock cameras to stalk their ex? What if an abusive partner uses it to stalk their ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend? It's already happened.
A police officer was arrested accused of misusing the system to track someone.
There have been multiple incidents where police officers, even a police chief, were arrested for using LPR cameras and specifically Flock to stalk or harass their exes.
It's a horrible use of the technology. Tools aren't designed to do that. This is why we built an audit log, and we work with the appropriate democratically elected governing bodies to hold those people accountable.
You have to consider human nature when you implement things like this. No one's perfect. People are going to abuse it.
Back in that Boulder coffee shop,
Let's see, direct route 4 cameras, and that's just to go 1.7 miles.
Will Freeman added a special feature to DFlock.
It also allows you to route around these things. Yeah, it goes from 5 minutes to 14 minutes, but it avoids all the cameras.
And there's an epidemic, as we all know, of mass killings in America. And if there's an opportunity to stop that, I want to be on the side of the people who are fighting to stop those things, not the people who are fighting to stop the proliferation of technology to stop crime.
Actual killers have been caught with this technology. Would you want to take that away from the police?
Considering everything, I would want to take that away from the police, at least in the current state that it's in. A feature that you can't turn off is that it's logging everyone else. So if they can get rid of that logging everyone else part, I think it would be a lot better.
Will Freeman is still tracking the trackers because he says no one is watching the watchers.
So we've been fighting against these things for a minute. You know, we put this on our podcast a while back. Can't remember exactly what episode it was, but we were telling everybody that, you know, these cops are showing up randomly at people's doors, accusing them of stealing packages because AI told them it was their car. Right. And they were in the vicinity so many times, but they weren't even actually the one that's on the camera.
Yeah.
You know, stuff that's just a minor thing. Since then, there's been people that have been abducted, raped, killed, all kinds of things because people are hacking these cameras, watching from all over the place. The person that actually invented these things isn't quite sure that humanity should really survive anymore. So, I mean, what are we doing here exactly?
That's what's getting me is people are hacking them. And then he's like, oh, well, you know, Verizon gave us the wrong SIM cards and blah.
Way to pass the buck.
Well, exactly. How about making sure stuff is correct before you start putting it out there so people can hack it and start following it?
It wasn't my fault that this podcast sucked. He didn't bring his A game.
Hey, that's bullshit.
Exactly. It's always bullshit, man. You know, if this podcast sucks, it's my fault because I'm the one that does all the editing, man.
Right, yeah.
I'm the one that's in control. I'm the one that puts whatever I put out there, not the person that gives you the SIM cards, bro.
Right, but it's just easier to pass the buck. And he just
seriously.
And I saw it where he's like, well, a clip where he's like, "I'm not the one who's supposed to police the police." What, dude? You're passing this stuff out. You know exactly what they're doing with this.
It's insane that these people don't give a damn about anybody but themselves, because that's exactly what this is. It's a money grab.
Yeah.
You get as much money as you can. You don't care about anybody else. Because nobody's going to be watching that person. He's going to have plenty of security.
Right.
He'll be moving around like movie stars. You never see them, man. They're like ghosts. You know, they come out of a building in a car. They don't come outside and get in a car. They don't go to, a stadium where they're going to do a show and just get out in the parking lot and walk in. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. These people are untouchable, and they're doing this to us minions running around here, paying everything. We pay our taxes so that we can pay for this shit. And it's insane that anybody would be for this. I'm sorry, but this is one of those things I don't take, well, maybe it's this side, maybe it's that side. This is a violation of our Fourth Amendment every time we step out of the house.
They're spying on us all the time.
It's a violation. It's illegal search and seizure. They're having, people are telling me that there's cameras that are scanning, like looking down at people now when they drive by, and they can see if you have your cell phone in your hand or, some vape or some drugs or a beer or something. It's like, that's a violation, bro.
Right.
It's a violation unless I'm swerving around, didn't use my turn signal, something that's gives you the ability to pull me over. You have no right to pull me over.
Well, you know what's crazy about just that whole thing? How many times have any of y'all been driving down the road and see the cops on their cell phones?
Oh, dude, they won't go from a red light because they're looking at their laptop.
Right. They're distracted all the time, but yet, you're worried about us regular people.
Dude, you go to court and you got guards that are bringing the inmates up from the jail that are drunk, carrying their water bottles full of vodka up there, and you can smell them.
Seriously?
No shit, dude. Dude, that chick that was on that James Holmes video watching she's trashed all the time, bro.
Yeah.
Every day that chick is trashed.
Fuck, man. Well,
a lot of these people, they've been there since the 90s, so they're pretty much towards the end of their career, but that's what people do, man. It's like, but it's still a violation of our Fourth Amendment right for you to even be able to pull us over. You can't even pull a person over for having a cracked windshield. You can ticket them.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to pull them over for something else. You can't do it for a seat belt. If they run a stop sign, then you get them for everything they got. But if they don't do that, you can't. If they don't do a turn signal, then you can pull them over.
Yeah.
They swerve, you can pull them over.
They pull people over all the time for seatbelts too.
Not for a seatbelt. They'll give you a ticket, but they can't pull you over for a seatbelt.
Huh.
You have to be pulled over for like speeding, doing something that's an actual offense to be able to pull over.
Because I know here in Denver, I think they pull.
Nope. Can't do it. They can give you a ticket for not wearing one. They will always give you a ticket for not wearing one. But they cannot pull you over for not wearing one.
I've even seen it on cops.
Not here. I'm telling you right now, you can't do it.
Well, no, I understand that. Right.
It's insane.
It is insane.
So that's the thing. It's like you're just looking at a camera and letting AI decide, oh, this one's got some suspect material inside the car. We need to go get it. And then they use, like the guy said, oh, well, if I could stop mass killings, there's mass killings. It's all these mass killings. It's like, what are you talking about, bro?
It doesn't stop.
None of your cameras would have stopped any of these people from just walking up and blasting a bunch of people, dude.
All you do is just have evidence. That's all you're having.
That's it. Hey, this is what we can put on the news to sensationalize it.
Yeah. You're not stopping jack
crap.
Yeah, all you're doing
it's all crap.
You got, and that's the thing. It's like, oh, if you had, people that put cameras around their house. It doesn't really.
They will never stop taking your rights away if you just keep giving them away. If people don't do something about this, then they'll just keep doing it. That's bottom line. We're going to take a quick music break, but when we come back, we'll talk about this video that we're about to watch about who's actually running what.
Something is going on. Some of us see it, some of us feel it. It's time to expand your thinking. You will need to reset everything you thought you knew about the world, about the people you trust, about history, about yourself. Let me tell you a story. For a very long time, our world has been under the growing influence of a vast transgenerational criminal mafia that was able to rise up to the highest levels of power. We didn't know because they talked and acted just like you and me. We thought we could recognize true criminals by their words and actions, but were deceived by their sophisticated speech, wealth, education, beauty, and power. Through a system of threats, blackmail, and bribery, they would come to occupy the highest levels of power in government, corporations, and education. You may know them as the deep state or cabal. Most dangerously of all, they achieve almost total influence over the media, their primary means of controlling the good people of the world who were just trying to get on with living. They use this power to slowly convince us that we were the problem, that we were a threat to each other. They used race, gender, and religion to set us apart, and rewrote history to validate these false claims. They funded both sides of wars just to crush our potential to prosper and succeed as a peace-loving and creative force of good for the world. Now, with their firm grasp on the media, we drank in their entertainment and lies as they began their final phase, the total takedown of America. We were the brightest remaining beacon of freedom and humanity's last hope. They knew that if they could take America, the rest of the world would follow. They cut deals that led us to hand over total control of the money system to a private central bank, the Federal Reserve. This made it possible to influence Washington, D.C., and most of our presidents since then were beholden to the criminals in one way or another. Things took a really bad turn when they concentrated vast power into the hands of the many civilian intelligence agencies throughout the world. They said they were there to protect us. Instead, these agencies were catastrophically weaponized to boost drug and human trafficking cartels, assassinate political opponents, undermine the military, and change regimes of foreign governments who did not want to adopt the centralized system of money control. You might think they would choose simply to remain in the shadows running their criminal activities while we carried on with our lives. But as long as there was freedom for the people to prosper, the cabal were always at risk of being discovered and shut down. There was no way to continue without a plan to eliminate all threats to their survival, even if it meant imposing a single world government under their jurisdiction, where no national identity, police force, or military could stop them. They called it globalism. Exploiting our emotions and our instincts of compassion, they found a way to justify dismantling cultures, borders, and national identity under the guise of social justice, creating false narratives of racism, colonialism, and capitalism to destabilize and ultimately collapse societies so they were no longer secure enough to reject this dark plan for the world. Where there was no history to distort, they would use wars to force a catastrophic mass migration of peoples across borders to destabilize and weaken cultural identity. When we didn't accept this, they called us intolerant and shamed us into silence. By 2008, America was in advanced stages of economic decline, with disastrous trade deals leading to widespread loss of jobs and a devastating financial crisis. The cabal had now absorbed another extensive criminal empire that was aligned with a twisted and radical form of Islam. Realizing the competition could threaten their goals, they decided to cooperate and agree to mutual terms. Now a hostile foreign enemy was able to insert a subordinate into the U.S. political system who would become the president. Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal funded Obama's Harvard education and took power by proxy, picking his entire cabinet while buying vast quantities of control in our largest media companies. The Western faction of the cabal was different. It was another kind of sick altogether. A dark and deeply sinister death cult with a strong reliance on symbolism and numerology, with levels of cruelty unimaginable to all right-thinking people. The reach and scale the secret society had achieved would have sent destabilizing shockwaves across the world were it ever to be publicly exposed. They were highly skilled at living just below the surface as they worked their way into the United States presidency. With both factions of the global mafia now in control, are you ready to hear what they had planned? Make sure you're sitting down. They installed rogue operators in government. They opened back doors to leak highly classified military intel and top-secret special access programs. They cut military funding and weakened the command of generals with irrational new rules of engagement. They worked to dismantle NASA and end our supremacy in space. They infiltrated and exposed defensive military intelligence programs that reduced our ability to detect foreign and domestic threats. They used our trusted agencies to target and weaken political opponents. They relaxed our borders and enabled passage of millions of illegals and violent criminal gangs. They moved money to fund global terrorism, resulting in groups like ISIS moving to capture vast territories throughout the world. In 2016, the Cabal Alliance had hoped to retain power. If you are not yet chilled to the bone by the picture that is forming about their intentions for us all, let me tell you what was to come next. Through international climate change scams, they would have siphoned trillions of remaining wealth, eliminate the last good guys in government, and withdraw total funding from the US military, handing over the responsibility of our defense to the United Nations. They would revise the Constitution to weaken our ability to fight back, ban the sale of firearms to eliminate our self-defense, insert their people into the Supreme Court, remove the Electoral College system to neuter our voting power, and totally eliminate alternative media to shield them from exposure. They instigated a covert deal to move large quantities of our uranium to their captured states in North Korea and Iran to build up a nuclear arsenal that would threaten the world. For this, they blamed Russia, a growing force of opposition to their ambitions of global control. By casting Putin as an enemy and blaming him for this illegal uranium deal, they had planned a devastating nuclear world war between America and Russia that would have exhausted the last two remaining pillars of freedom for the world, accelerating the horrific endgame that had become inevitable. This cabal miraculously lost power in 2016 when a brave operation, led by a U.S. military alliance and their global partners, were able to return power legitimately over to the light. They had a plan of their very own, one that was many decades in the making. With Donald Trump selected for the role of president, the people of America was slowly awakened to the reality of the world they live in. With so much hidden and lied about in the media channels we had come to trust for our news and entertainment, this alliance of good set into motion a sophisticated strategy of dismantling the vast network of corruption that had almost completely overcome every level of government, industry, and the legal system. They knew they had to follow the laws of the land as they were originally intended. Otherwise, they themselves would be delegitimized, even though they were just trying to free us from the silent stranglehold of tyranny that we had come to accept as normal. The panicking deep state used any remaining power they had left to try and save themselves. Each day for 2 years was a careful and meticulously planned balancing act between public perception and the job that needed to be done. Moving too fast would shock and scare a sleeping public still living in the prison of the mind that was created for them. But after all this, it appears now that not only are we winning, but we have won. The trajectory of this great storm is now radiantly clear. Now we look forward to a new future, thanks to the brave patriots who risked everything to save our world. This time for good. There is not a person alive who has experienced what a world without this darkness could be like. A world of free energy that was kept from us to force our dependency on their fossil fuel monopolies. Abolishment of income tax that was illegally imposed to pay back interest on loans taken from the cabal banking system. Released cures for our most deadly diseases. Unleashed space technologies to open frontiers we never dreamed possible. New technologies creating millions of jobs and yielding a global human renaissance the likes of which we have never seen. Fellow Americans and citizens of the world, now it is our turn to shine. Wherever we are, we will become the plan when we choose to reject what they called globalism. We recognize the words they use to bend us to their will, and we say no more. It's time to turn off the media, follow your instincts, trust yourself, and be the plan. May God bless America and the world.
Well, you know, we've always had our theories and this and that, and we voice them. We say what we think, but at the same time, it never really hits hard until you see somebody else say it and put it in a video. It's like, we ain't running to shit, man.
Nope.
There's never been a vote that's actually elected anybody, man. It's insane.
I don't.
It's all connections.
It's
It's
all
a trilateral commission and, you know, all this crazy stuff, man. We are not a part of the group, just like George Carlin said, you know, before he was, I guess, passed away.
Right.
We're not part of the group. There's a big group, but we're not part of it.
Well, no, and that's the whole, and that's, if you look at this big picture with the whole AI and the robots being created and in all the cameras, and then the burnings of the cities, and that's the dystopian cities that they're trying to build.
Well, and how they try to blame it all on us. You know what I mean? Like the weather is your fault. The climate change is your fault. You did this. It's like, okay, it's our fault while you build all these giant factories and they're the ones pumping whatever they're pumping into the sky. I didn't do that.
Right.
You did it.
Yeah.
But it's my fault because you're selling us poison and we bought it from you. Gotcha.
Yeah. And we're the ones that are dumping all the crap into the oceans and filling all these chemicals.
It's crazy how much we've lost control. Like, we obviously never had any control, but it was nice living in that little window like when I was born up till about 2015.
Right.
It was nice. And then all of a sudden, some president gets elected and the whole world goes ape shit.
Right.
It's nuts, man. I don't know what else to say about it, but it's all of a sudden everything started being like the veil was pulled off of everything. All this crap that everybody was doing behind closed doors and shady shit that people were getting away with. All of a sudden, it's like, hey, we see what's going on now.
Well, right. And that's totally like, when we did that episode when Sean was talking about how they're going to be releasing all this stuff just to twist our minds, just to what is real, what isn't. And man, it is definitely getting thick.
And
that's exactly what they want.
Chase Hughes was talking about that stuff on a video we had before where he was exactly what was the prediction of 2026.
Right.
Was they were going to have like psychedelics were going to start being pushed by the government. And they did.
Yep.
And then, it was going to be so much of this AI crap that people weren't going to know what to believe. You know what I mean? They won't know if this is real, if it's not real. Everybody's going to look at everything with a skeptical eye, even truth.
Right.
And so nobody will know what's real anymore. And that plays exactly into their hands.
Well,
you know what I mean? Because if we're divided and confused, then we don't know who to go after.
Yep. And it's all a blame game and everybody's pointing fingers and it's.
Well, and you've got, Hollywood people, you've got musicians, all these people that are just like Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. But it's like, dude, if you guys are seriously stuck on that boat, then you're on the wrong boat, man. I'm sorry. There's a lot bigger and worse things than Trump. Like that's not the source of all evil in the world. Unfortunately for all the people that hate him, I'm just saying it's not. It's not. It's way bigger than that.
Yep. There's
way
a
bigger
picture than
Trump
that.
Tower ain't shit to these people.
Well, we just saw that, Saudi Arabia paying for Obama's, Harvard education, and that's, sucking just.
I'm serious. Like none of this stuff is actually just even Obama. He's not even the guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like this is so much bigger than whatever we've seen, man. They're, like I said, they're ghosts.
Strange facts you may have never known.
That was Rocky. All right. 1907 to 1970s, America, U.S. states legally sterilization an estimated 65,000 Americans under eugenics laws. Nazi scientists especially cited American eugenics programs as their own model for their racial policies. Buck versus Bell, 1927, the Supreme Court case authorizing sterilization has never been overturned. What they hid from us. The American Agencies movement was founded by Carriage, Rockefeller, and Harriman Foundation, whose involvement was suppressed in official foundation histories for decades. But once again,
Rockefellers.
The Rockefellers. Well, even our own government,
Well, of course. Who runs the government, dude?
And that's the thing, is like that's not the only ones that they've done, but 65,000 people they sterilized. I mean, it's
eugenics. You know what that means?
Well,
I don't want any black people in the country for a while. Just stop letting all the black people have any babies. Just sterilize them when they're infants.
Well, I know I had read somewhere before that they did that to Native Americans as well.
Oh, yeah. They've done some crazy stuff, man. That's insane, though, that, up to the 70s, they say.
Right.
And, that hasn't been overturned yet.
Yeah. It's
kind of like the MK Ultra stuff. We were going to cover that. We were going to talk about what they just, basically had a hearing about the other day. But to me, it just kind of seemed like a joke. Of course, what we are going to see is the little tidbits of crap we've already known.
Right.
So it's all the same crap, man. And they'll say they released something, but we'll never actually see it. This kind of seems like the same thing.
Feed you a
like
story
they didn't
that
actually stop anything yet.
Yeah. I kind of do know that with the like Justin was saying, it was crazy, but there was that lady that you showed me that was supposed to be August 10th.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna keep our eyes
of
94.
Of 94.
That was of 94.
You talked about the victim?
Yeah. Isn't she supposed to come in front of everybody on August?
Oh, yeah. I'm saying her daughter was born in 94,
right.
and she was a victim, and supposedly MK Ultra stopped in 77. So
supposedly
there's a bit of a discrepancy there.
Few years.
But she says she's going to come out, on the 10th of August, I think, and call herself to the floor of some hearing and testify as a living victim of MK Ultra.
Which would be kind of interesting if she makes it.
Yeah, if she makes it to that day, it'll be interesting to hear what she has to say. Yeah. I mean, her and her adoptive daughter, like we were going to show this stuff, so we'll just tell you about it. But it's just, a lot of it was repetitive, and what, if they asked a question and somebody didn't answer the way they wanted to, it kind of seemed like they were feeding the answer within the question every time. And that's, it's
shady
manipulation. I don't like that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it all comes out. I've already done some investigating on it. As we know, we've talked about it, the chaos book, stuff like that. This stuff is not, it's not like it's really died out. I think it's still alive and well, in my opinion. But
oh, for sure. I guarantee you it probably is. I mean, just with everything that, just some of the things that we've even talked about, some of the topics, it's just, I could see how that'd be mind control.
Definitely. People have done some weird things, and it's like, dude.
Just shit that don't make sense. And you're just like, huh. If it
So,
makes you go, huh?
It probably is worth it.
Looking into it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for checking us out again this week. Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday.
And, we'll see you guys next week.
Happy birthday. Peace.